All right, so let's look at the first round's categories. Get your shuffles, dig into the negatives. Yeah. They are NES games, disreputable disasters, unreleased games, respectable regrets, developers' lesser known games, legends and lore, and what were they thinking? Nod to the angry video game nerd. Oh, we need a toss-up question. All right. To date, what is the highest-selling video game console of all time? Looks like some random jerk got in first.
PlayStation 2.
That is correct. You control the board.
Sweet. Let's go with NES games for 100.
Rash and Zitz are the brawling amphibian stars of what rare Trade West beat 'em up?
I'm going to go with Battletoads.
That is correct. Come on, you control the board, Derek.
I'll go with Disreputable Disasters for 100.
All right. Known for terrible flight controls, what N64 title has the player flying through rings on a timer? Nick.
What is Superman? Oh, I'm doing Jeopardy. There was a Superman 64.
That's right. I believe Nick controls the board.
All right. I'll take Disreputable Disasters for 200.
For 200. What shooter game was said to have been daunting for new players and suffered from a small player base, poor matchmaking, bugs, and was ultimately overshadowed by the release of Overwatch 3 weeks later?
Dang it.
Nick.
What is Battleborn?
Battleborn is correct.
Hey. All right.
Select again.
I'll take Disreputable Disasters for 300, please.
For 300. What home console sold only a mere 13 million units over its lifetime, due to many people believing it was just an upgrade to the previous console, a lack of third-party games, and a large, clunky controller? Derek.
All right. I'm going to go with the Wii U for that one.
Wii U is correct. All right, you have the board.
I'll go with NES games for 200.
Boom, for 200. What game's protagonist was based on the manga character Astro Boy?
Mega Man or Rockman, whatever.
Mega Man is correct.
All right.
All right, the board is yours.
All right. NES games for 300.
For 300. What Japanese game was remade and released in North America as Super Mario Bros. 2? Derek.
Doki Doki Panic.
Doki Doki Panic is correct. And let's see. That is a red question, so you get bonus points.
All right.
You control the board.
I'll go with NES games again for 400.
For 400. It's the Daily Double.
Oh, shit.
You can wager any of your winnings, any of your current points.
I'll make it a true daily double.
You gonna blow the wad. All right. What was the
Might as well
final
lose it early.
What was the final licensed NES game released in North America?
I may have picked a bad one to bet it all on. Probably going to be wrong, but Final Fantasy VI?
No, the answer is Wario's Woods.
Hmm.
Final Fantasy VI was a SNES game. But you still control the board.
Let's go back to NES for 500.
For 500. Nettler, Mono Eye, and Eggplant Wizard are all enemies from what game? Some random jerk.
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus is correct. You control the board
And let's stick with NES games for 1,000.
for 1,000. Lutter is the currency of what lesser-known action RPG published by Broderbund in North America? And 3, 2, 1. The answer is Deadly Towers.
Let's go with Legends and Lore for 100.
Legends and Lore. In The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, what is the name of the elder of Kakariko Village? Three, two, one. The answer is Sahasrara.
Sounds like a tough one.
Select again.
Legends and Lore for 200.
For 200. What former Aperture Science employee's breadcrumb trail of scribbles, paintings, and murals can be found in areas of Portal and Portal 2? Let's see. Derek.
It's a bit of a guess. Is that Ratman?
The Ratman, or Doug Ratman, is correct.
All right.
Let's see. That was a $200 question. And you're back on the board, and you control it.
All right. Let's go with developers' lesser-known games for 400.
400. In stark contrast to Dark Souls and Demon's Souls, what action-adventure game starring two bunnies was developed by From Software for the PS2? Three, two, one. The answer is The Adventures of Cookie and Cream. Lesser-known games.
Truly lesser known.
Absolutely.
Derek, select again.
Let's take the same category for 200.
200. Prior to working on series like Spyro and Ratchet and Clank, Insomniac Games first developed what first-person shooter for the PlayStation? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Disruptor. We got any PlayStation babies in the house?
Going from an NES to a PlayStation 2. I skipped most of the PlayStation.
You went from an 8-bit NES to the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, my first console was a hand-me-down.
That's quite a leap.
Usually.
You skipped like 3 console generations.
Yeah, I did.
All right. I believe you still control the board.
Let's try and redeem myself with a 100. See if I can get one.
Developers lesser known games?
Yes.
All right, for 100. Bungie, the developer of the Destiny franchise and the original Halo trilogy, developed what PS2 game? Derek?
That one I'm going to go with Oni.
Oni is correct.
That's one I did play on PS2.
All right, select again.
Let's take the same category for, let's go 1,000.
All the way to 1,000. What terribly reviewed hidden object game was one of 2 games on the NES developed by Bethesda? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Where's Waldo?
Really?
Oh, really? Lesser known games.
Every big studio is going to start somewhere.
Exactly. Select again, Derek.
Let's say what was I thinking and go for what were they thinking for 100.
What were they thinking for 100? What developer decided against making a third installment of Fallout, instead focusing on spin-off games, then developed financial problems, causing them to sell the rights to Bethesda? In 3, 2, Nick?
2 is Obsidian. I keep doing Jeopardy. Obsidian?
Not Obsidian. Oh, Derek?
Another guess, but is it Sierra?
Not Sierra.
Hmm.
3, 2, 1. The answer is Interplay.
Hmm.
And you still control it.
Let's go for 200. What were they thinking?
What were they thinking for 200? What lamentable Atari 2600 game was rushed to market with a 5-week production window, had its unsold copies buried in the New Mexico desert, and is often attributed to the start of the video game crash of 1983? Did anybody buzz for that one?
I think Derek got that one first.
Yeah.
Okay, Derek?
Yep. Gonna go with E.T.
It is indeed E.T.
I have my copy.
And you still control it.
Let's go with unreleased games for 100.
Unreleased games for 100. What horror game was canceled following Hideo Kojima's departure from Konami? Nick.
It was called PT, but it was for Silent Hill.
Silent Hills is correct.
Hills. Yeah.
Close enough.
All right, I'm gonna take. What were they thinking for 300?
For 300. What 360 PS3 game was universally panned by critics for its use of on-rail shooting, subpar graphics, excessive QuickTime events, and insidiously short length, and was nominated by Giant Bomb for Worst Game of 2014? In 3, 2, 1, up.
What is Resident Evil 6?
No. Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. Derek.
I feel like it was earlier than this, but Duke Nukem Forever?
Not that. Anybody else for 3, 2, 1.
Take a shot, yeah. Damnation?
Not Damnation.
Okay.
Oof.
The answer is Rambo the video game.
Oh shit.
It was a steaming pile of pig vomit. And Nick, I believe you still control the board.
Okay. Let's. Well, as purple, I want to try to desperately get some of these bonus points. So let's go. What were they thinking for 400?
For 400. What developer saw success in the 90s with the Command and Conquer franchise, but was shut down within 5 years after being acquired by Electronic Arts?
Shoot.
In 3, 2, 1.
Let's-
The answer is Westwood Studios.
Shoot. I was just playing the Command and Conquer games a few weeks ago.
All right, select again.
All right. I'll go for what were they thinking for 500?
For 500. What action RPG developed on Unreal Engine 3 was a commercial flop, leading to a failed lawsuit against Epic, which caused the developing studio to shut down? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Too Human.
Oh,
Really?
I still have a copy of it over there.
All right. Nick?
Let's just finish out the column.
All righty. For 1,000. What studio, founded by former Blizzard employees, died 5 years after its founding? Its only game, an action RPG with an unimpressive subscription mode and a billing system that was double charging a fraction of players. In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Flagship Studios.
Hmm.
You still control it, Nick.
All right. Let's take it back to something easy. Let's go Respectable Regrets for 100.
All right, for 100. It's the Daily Double. Now, you
All right.
have You have no points, but since it's a daily double, you can wager up to 500.
You know what? I'll bet the farm. Let's go all 500.
All right, for 500 points. What action RPG was the only game released by its Rhode Island-based studio, founded by a former MLB pitcher 4 months before they declared bankruptcy?
What was it? 50 cents Blood in the Sand.
No, the answer is Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning.
Oh, what? I had no idea.
I didn't know they
Yeah,
went
it was
bankrupt
found.
so quickly.
Oh yeah, it was founded by Kurt Schilling, and well, they under-delivered.
Yeah.
Great game, and it's been picked back up by THQ Nordic. I have the remaster, and I'm eagerly awaiting the DLC that they still haven't set a freaking release date for, and we're almost halfway through the year. But I digress. Select again
All right, I'll go Respectable Regrets, 200.
for 200. What action-adventure game was considered a commercial failure despite selling over 1 million copies due to its inability to recoup its development budget and contributed to Sega's departure from the console market? In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Shenmue, or Shenmue. I'm not sure of the correct pronunciation.
I think it's Shenmue.
Select
I've
again.
always heard it that way.
Yeah, that's how I've heard it. Should have known that too. All right, well, let's go Respectable Regrets, 300.
For 300, what 2005 PC platformer developed by a former LucasArts employee did not find mainstream success until nearly 10 years later through digital distribution once they reobtained the publishing rights? In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Psychonauts. You still control it.
All right, let's go Disreputable Disasters for 400.
Okay, for 400. Which action-adventure title was this popular franchise's PS2 debut, but flopped so hard that it effectively doomed its original developer, Core Design? In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. Select again.
All right, let's go Disreputable Disasters for 500.
For 500. What 2019 title failed due to the development team's lack of experience with Frostbite engine, staff departures, mental health breakdowns, lack of consistent leadership, and continuous feature reworking? Derek.
I'm going to go with Mass Effect Andromeda.
Not that. Let's see. Some random jerk.
I'm gonna go with Anthem.
Answer is Anthem.
Nice.
Got the wrong EA game.
All right. Some random jerk. You control it.
Let's go with Legends and Lore for 1,000.
For 1,000. Okay. In the Elder Scrolls, who led the rebellion to end human slavery by the Aleids, or Aliads, and founded the first Cyrodiilic Empire?
Sounds like an actual history question.
Can I phone a friend?
In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Alessia, or Saint Alessia. You still control it, jerk.
Same category, 500.
500. In Phantasy Star 4, what was the name of the supreme being that manifests as Dark Force in all 4 Phantasy Star games?
Oh.
In 3, 2, 1, the answer is the Profound Darkness. Select again.
All right, let's see. Respectable regrets for 400.
Respectable regrets for 400. What 2003 Ubisoft title performed poorly due to market saturation, lack of established credibility, and poor marketing, which was instead focused on promoting Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time? In 3, 2, 1. Nick?
Literal shot in the dark. Assassin's Creed.
Not that.
Trying to
3,
think what else Ubisoft is
2,
doing then.
1.
Wow.
The answer is Beyond Good and Evil. That poor game got buried.
They might get a second game.
And I've been hearing about that too. There's been a sequel being talked about for a long time. Jerk, I believe you still control the board.
Respectable regrets 500.
Okay. What rare platformer game sold poorly due to a lack of publisher marketing, a high price tag, a late release in the same year its home console was discontinued, and likely repulsion of parents from its adult humor? Derek.
Was this Conker's Bad Fur Day?
It was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Something I'm still surprised that Rare did.
All right, you control the board, and you're back in the black.
All right. Let's go with Disreputable Disasters for 1,000.
All righty, 4,000. What 2011 first-person shooter spent 14 years being developed, was finished by a different studio in its final year of development, and holds the Guinness World Record for longest development period of a video game? Let's see, did you buzz that one too?
Yeah.
Derek beat me to it.
What is it, Derek?
I'm going to reuse my older answer with Duke Nukem Forever.
It is Duke Nukem Forever. Oh, whoa. There we go. And you still control it.
All right. Let's go with Respectable Regrets for 1,000.
For 1,000. What game holds the Guinness World Records for the most critically acclaimed video game starring an animal character, and for the least commercially successful winner of a Game of the Year award from a major gaming publication? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Okami.
Should have gone for it.
Was that what you would have guessed?
Yeah.
Yeah, someday they say go with your gut.
Too risk averse with only 1,000 points left.
True. But you control the board.
Let's go with Legends and Lore for 300.
Legends and Lore for 300. In Fallout 3, experimentation on the residents of Vault 87 resulted in what scourge in the Capital Wasteland? In 3, 2, Derek?
I'm going to go with the Super Mutants.
It is the Super Mutants.
Ah, shoot.
All
should I
right.
go?
I've learned to trust my gut, Nick.
I'm learning quite the opposite.
You still control it, Derek.
Let's go finish out Legends and Lore.
All right, for 400. What titanic enemy in Final Fantasy VII is never mentioned or named and appears only in FMV cutscenes, but is identified in official materials outside the game? Some random jerk.
Is it Emerald Weapon?
It is not Emerald Weapon. Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Sapphire Weapon.
Oh,
dang it.
And if you
I was trying
remember,
to think what else wasn't in there.
Yeah, Emerald Weapon is actually named.
Mm,
And if you remember the cutscene in towards the end of Disc 2, that big blue bastard that comes out of the ocean near Junon Harbor,
That's right.
and then they shoot it in the face with the cannon. Yeah, that's Sapphire Weapon.
yeah.
And then he's also briefly seen in the cutscene after you give Sephiroth the black materia and all the weapons escape the crater.
Yeah.
So, I believe Derek still controls it.
All right. Let's go with lesser known games for 300.
For 300, what N64 game developed by Sucker Punch Productions was turned down by multiple publishers until it received positive feedback following its exhibition at E3? In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Rocket Robot on Wheels. Lesser known
Oh, yeah.
games.
I keep forgetting
Because I'm
that
sure you
shit.
guys have heard of Sucker Punch Productions.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I need the column of very obvious games.
All right, Derek, still control it.
We've got one more category left in there, so let's go for 500 lesser known games.
All righty.
Take the band-aid off now.
Crystal Dynamics, before taking on the Tomb Raider franchise, developed what PS2 game in which two chained together creatures attempt to escape an animal testing facility? In 3, 2,
Yeah,
One.
why not?
some random jerk?
Oddworld?
Not Oddworld.
Back to 0.
In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Whiplash.
Lesser known games. God damn it.
Let's go from lesser known to unreleased for 200.
Unreleased games for 200. From the scraps of what canceled sci-fi MMO did Blizzard develop its team-based shooter Overwatch? Looks like Derek.
Is that Project Titan?
It is Project Titan.
Something that at the time I was hoping I might actually see.
Glad you beat me to it.
All right.
I'll save you 200 points.
You still control it.
You know what, let's go for 1,000.
For 1,000 points, in development for the Sega Genesis, what comic book-based game was canceled after Tengen's consolidation into Time Warner? In 3, 2, 1. Nick?
Was it a Venom?
Not Venom. In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Interplanetary Lizards of the Texas Plains. And yes, it's a real comic.
I can believe that.
Digging my way out to the other end of the score.
All right, you still control it, Derek.
All right. Let's go for 500.
For 500. What vampiric Parker Brothers NES game features the Reebok pumps as an in-game item? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Drax Night Out.
Rax Night Out.
All right, Derek, you still control the board.
Let's go for 400.
For 400. In what Sega CD game does the infamous Desert Bus Driving Simulator appear? In 3, 2, 1. Derek?
I know it's Penn and Teller's Magic something. That's all I know. I thought I would get more.
Oh, judges? I'm afraid we can't accept that.
All right.
There's one particular part of the title that is important.
Yeah, it didn't come to me.
In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors.
That's what it was.
Good guess, though. You were right there.
Impressive.
Right neighborhood, wrong mailbox.
Yep.
And the final question of the round. Citing numerous delays and game engine issues, what action RPG from Platinum Games was canceled by Microsoft? Derek?
Another one that I was hoping to see, but Scalebound.
It was Scalebound. So you recouped most of what you lost from that last question.
Yeah.
All right, that is the round. We're going to take a brief intermission while I set up the board for the next round. So everybody stretch, use the bathroom, get a drink,
Sounds like a plan to me.
and we will be right back. We ready to start the next round?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes,
ready.
sir.
Super. Let's reveal this round's categories. We'll start with fumbled follow-ups, 80s NES hits, Final Fantasy, failure to relaunch, Hodgepodge, Xbox 360, and Nintendo accessory distressory. All right, so Nick, you control the board.
Okay, let's go fumbled follow-ups for 100.
Fumbled follow-ups for 100. Common in modern games, day-to-night transition is a feature of what 80s title, with nighttime being heralded by pop-up text which reads, "What a horrible night to have a curse." In 3, Derek?
Was this Castlevania Simon's Quest?
Close enough. Castlevania,
Castlevania
2,
2.
Simon's Quest. And that is... Get over here. My windows are wandering. That is a bonus for you.
All right.
And you have control of the board.
Let's take another fumbled follow-ups. 200.
For 200. What first-person shooter, which is actually a prequel, contains a hidden dead rat in every level, which is a reference to the hidden cheese in the original game? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Perfect Dark Zero. Make another selection.
Let's go for 300.
For 300. What hack and slash adventure shooter is the only entry in its franchise to not feature the brother of the game's protagonist, Virgil? Derek?
That one is Devil May Cry 2.
Devil May Cry 2 is correct. You were racking up the bonuses.
Luckily, this one's close to my heart.
Select again.
Well, let's take a hodgepodge break for 300.
Hodgepodge for 300. What 2017 visual novel game provides a bonus jump scare to the player if they are recording the game in OBS? In 3. Derek?
I'm gonna go for Doki Doki Literature Club.
It is Doki Doki Literature Club.
Damn it, you beat me to it by a second.
All right, make another selection.
How about a Final Fantasy for 300.
Final Fantasy IV 300. It was the success of what other RPG that helped series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi convince his higher-ups to let him design an RPG of his own? Some random jerk.
Legend of Zelda.
This is not Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, kind of accidentally pressed it.
Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior, as it was originally released in the United States.
Yeah.
Make another selection.
Let's go for another fumbled follow-ups for 400.
Fumbled follow-ups for 400.
Perfect.
What Namco game departed from its maze-running roots by introducing point-and-click adventure mechanics, including mood, which affects your ability to have the hero character follow instructions? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could see Pac-Man not in a maze.
That's why it was a fumbled follow-up.
Mm-hmm. It'd be another what were they thinking?
Yes. Yes, some of these questions could definitely go in other categories. So, select again.
Let's go for 500.
Sip-a-doo for the working nerds out there. 500. What PlayStation game was the first and only foray into the third dimension for its franchise, with a canceled Sega Saturn port, and no other games in the series being published until 21 years later? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Bubsy 3D.
Mm.
And if you've ever played Bubsy 3D, I'm sorry. You'll never get that time of your life back. Make another selection.
Oh, let's finish out the category.
What was that, Nick?
I was gonna say, but you would have gotten that trivia question.
Yep.
But you would have gotten that question. That's a very good point. 1,000. What first-person shooter shares its title with its revolutionary predecessor, yet actually has nothing to do with the original game and features an eponymous protagonist with a cybernetic implant? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is GoldenEye Rogue Agent.
Mm.
About the fumbliest of follow-ups to one of the most revolutionary games of its time. Make another selection.
Let's head to Hodgepodge. Let's go for 400.
400. In the Metal Gear series, what is the name of Gray Fox's lover who was denied entry to the United States? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Gustava Hefner. Hodgepodge.
Yep.
Make another selection.
Let's go to Nintendo Accessory Distressory for 100.
All right. Requiring the use of 6 AA batteries, what accessory was roughly 2 feet in length and required calibration before every use? In 3, up.
Shoot, what was it called? The
Wait a minute. Who got it first? Was that
I think I got it.
Oh,
it
oh,
says
did you get it first? Sorry, I
okay?
Derek was
Derek.
Is that the Wii balance board?
It is not the Wii balance board. It looks like next would have been Nick.
I rescind my my buzz. Derek said what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yes, I'll take my shot then.
Okay. Some random jerk.
Super Scope.
It is the Super Scope. Climbing out of that hole.
Got one for Christmas.
All right, you control the board.
Let's go with Final Fantasy 100.
Final Fantasy for 100. Nearly every Final Fantasy game has a character with what name? Some random jerk.
Sid.
Sid is correct.
200.
Final Fantasy for 200. For which Final Fantasy title did Square run an ad that read, "Please get the guys who make cartridge games a cigarette and a blindfold"? In 3, 2, 1. Nick? Nick?
Little shot in the dark. Final Fantasy V.
It's not Final Fantasy V. All right. Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Final Fantasy VII.
Could have gone with my gut again.
Yeah.
I knew that one for sure was on disc. I thought maybe maybe an earlier one.
Couldn't decide if it was the last cartridge game that they were saying, oh, it's too strong for any more cartridges to fit anything better.
All right. And Jerk, I believe you still control the board.
Same category, 400.
Final Fantasy for 400. 3 Final Fantasy games did not initially receive North American releases. Final Fantasy V and II were released on the PlayStation in 1999 and 2003, respectively. The last was released on the Nintendo DS in 2006. Which entry was it? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Final Fantasy III.
Should have known that.
All right, Jerk, keep on selecting.
Let's go with 500.
For 500. Which Final Fantasy title contained a hidden post-game quest that was largely unknown to Western players for nearly 13 years after its release, due to its inclusion in a Japanese strategy guide that was never translated?
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Derek?
I'm going to go with my shot in the dark for Final Fantasy IV.
It is not Final Fantasy IV. Anyone else? In 3, 2, Nick?
Derek has narrowed it down for enough for me to say Final Fantasy VI.
Not Final Fantasy VI. And 3, 2, 1. The title is Some Random Jerk.
Final Fantasy 10.
Not Final Fantasy X.
Come
Ah,
Trying to think how long ago was 13 years?
on. Yeah.
The answer is Final Fantasy IX.
close.
So close.
Jerk, you still control the board.
Finish off for the category.
All right. Final Fantasy 15 was almost turned into a JRPG musical after Tetsuya Nomura saw and fell in love with which movie? Nick,
La La Land.
it is not La La Land.
I'm sorry, it was Moonlight.
Is that an official answer?
The Oscar
Oh.
joke.
Oh, okay. Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. Derek?
Was it Les Miserables?
It was Les Miserables.
Oh, wow, really?
Wow.
Was that a shot in the dark or somewhat educated guess?
Just trying to figure out around that time period. And who wouldn't like Hugh Jackman singing?
Well, Tetsuya Nomura apparently did. Although, I don't know. Would he have seen it dubbed in Japanese? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Anyway, you
Is he
now
a sub
control
or
the
a dub
board.
man?
Let's see. Let's go for Xbox 360 for 400.
Xbox 360 for 400. Which 360 exclusive was the first title developed by the indie studio founded by former Square executive Hironobu Sakaguchi, called Mistwalker? In 3, 2, 1. Some random jerk?
Lost Odyssey?
Not Lost Odyssey. Good guess, though.
Yeah.
Another one I think I can pull off my shelf over there.
Yeah.
Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Blue Dragon.
Surprisingly, another one I can pull off my shelf over there.
Make another selection.
Let's go for 500 for 360.
All right. For 500. What game was the console's second best-selling title with 17 million copies? Derek.
Another shot in the dark, but I'm gonna go for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Not that.
Hard to say the second.
Nick.
We go with Halo 3.
It's not Halo 3.
Did that come out on the 360 or did I shoot myself in the foot there?
No, you were right there. It's on 360.
Shows you the extent. of
Some
my
random jerk.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Gears of War 2.
What was it?
Gears of War 2.
Gears of War 2. Not that.
Just
Also, I just embarrassed myself. I leaned in with the headphones on as if that was going to make me hear better. Anyway, the answer was Grand Theft Auto 5.
Ah,
Really? Wow.
oh yeah, that game's been out for a really long time.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Derek, I believe you still control the board.
You know, let's take 360 for 1,000.
Ashley says she knew it. 360 for 1,000. The Xbox 360 was not revealed at E3 or at a Microsoft event, but instead on a televised special hosted by Elijah Wood, which aired on what channel?
I'm about to take a shot.
Derek?
I'm gonna take another guess, but was it on G4?
It was not G4. Derek's catching up to you guys.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a guess? In 3, 2, 1. Are you fumbling with the buzzer there, some random jerk?
No, it's not me.
Okay, I heard you going, oh shit. So I didn't know if you were trying to. I'm allowing a little bit of leeway here because people have to type and things.
Yeah.
You don't just have a button to go. Gah. So anyway, 3, 2, 1, and the answer is MTV.
Oh god, I should have guessed it.
I mean, what other
I
channel?
should've guessed.
What other channel besides G4 would actually have something like that?
Yeah.
It's
know.
either that or Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon would be a good one too. With
And it's on brand.
I
and
was
it's something
thinking
that
it'd be
wasn't
something
music.
completely out of touch, like ESPN.
or BET. Elijah Wood on BET.
That would've-
All right,
that would've been something to
Apollo,
see.
give it up for Elijah Wood.
That'd be hilarious.
All right, I believe Derek still controls the board.
Yep. Let's go back up this category. 300.
Xbox 360 for 300 is the daily double. You can wager any amount of your points.
You know what? I think I've got some room. I'll wager it all. 1,500 points.
A true daily double, and the question is, 2 games for the Xbox 360 came on 4 discs. One was Wolfenstein New Order. What was the other one?
I'm tempted to say an answer from earlier in the category. I think that was 3. Actually, I think it's Lost Odyssey then.
It is Lost Odyssey. Congratulations, you have doubled your points. I have to get back to that game eventually. I started it, got pretty far, and then just stopped playing it.
Yeah, I did that too, but probably 10 years ago now.
And you still control the board.
Let's go for 360 for 200.
Which launch title was the most successful for the console, selling over 1 million copies in the US within the first year of release? Derek?
Is that one Halo 3?
It is not Halo 3. Anybody else? Nick?
Gears of War?
Not Gears of War. Some random jerk, do you have a guess?
I know it.
All right, 3, 2, 1. It was Call of Duty 2.
Of course. God damn it.
You got to think way back. Launch
What came out
title.
in 2006?
Yeah, way
that's-
back. When y'all were in like what? Elementary school, middle school, something like that?
What, 2006? Yeah, I was.
I was already
Yeah.
out of high school.
Almost in middle school.
I was working in
Uh,
Sears when that damn thing came out, and our store got like 5 of them, and there were people out in the parking lot with cash money, like overspending. If you're like, "Yo, dude, I'll give you $1,500 for it."
Oh, man.
It was crazy.
Times have not changed.
Same thing
I still
happened
can't
when
get an
PS3
Xbox.
came out.
Yep.
All right,
That one already cost $800 or something when it came out.
gonna finish out the category, Derek.
Yep, let's go for it.
All right, for 100. What general error requiring service of the console or power adapter cost Microsoft an estimated $1.5 billion to resolve and prompted them to extend the console warranty from 1 to 3 years? Derek.
I'm going to go for the Red Ring of Death.
It is the Red Ring of Death.
Then I lost 2 Xboxes too.
2, no kidding.
Wow.
And then did they honor the warranties, or did you just...
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay.
You
Wow.
just have to wait 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, that's good at least. All right. You're finished with that. Where are you going to move now?
Let's go into failure to relaunch for 100.
For 100. What game launched glitchy and largely unfinished due to Microsoft's insistence that it be published in time for the holiday shopping season, with part of its dev team split off to work on a different game in the same franchise? Nick?
Is it Halo ODST?
Not that. Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic 06. Derek, you still control the board.
Let's go same category for 200.
For 200. What Hudson, now Konami mainstay, went from hero to zero in a gritty, futuristic 2006 reboot on the Xbox 360, much to the chagrin of longtime fans? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Bomberman. And the name of the game was Bomberman Zero.
Yeah. I think I can remember that showing up on the marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Select again.
Let's go for 300.
For 300. What 2008 hack and slash adventure departed from its side-scrolling beat-em-up roots, took a backseat during a shared development window of the Iron Man movie tie-in, and ultimately disappointed players with a lack of multiplayer? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Golden Axe Beast Rider. Anybody ever play the old Golden Axe games for Sega Genesis?
Yeah, the arcade ones, yeah.
Yep. All right,
I
make
remember
another.
that on the PS3, but
Okay, you played like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection on the PS3 or something? I have it for the 360 and it has all 3 of the Golden Axe games on there.
The bad time to mention this is the first time I've ever heard of Golden Axe.
Oh boy. Well, not everybody's a beat 'em up fan. But Derek, make another selection.
Let's go for a hodgepodge for 1,000.
Hodgepodge for 1,000. In what 2000 first-person shooter stealth RPG, which takes place almost entirely at night, is it possible to complete the game without drawing your gun? In 3, 2, 1, the answer is Deus Ex.
Ah,
Make another selection.
Let's go for 500 in hodgepodge.
Okay, for 500. It's the other daily double.
You know what, I don't think I have the guts to do a full daily double again, but I'll wager 1,400 points.
1,400. What 2010 platformer was destined for Nintendo's WiiWare service, but ended up exceeding the service's maximum file size? Ultimately came out first for Xbox Live Arcade, and would not see a Nintendo release until 2016 on the Wii U.
I think I've got nothing.
Care to just take a guess?
Super Mario, even though I know that's very wrong.
Ooh, well, you have one of the words right. Super Meat Boy.
Ah,
Yeah, it was supposed to be on WiiWare, but it was
Wow.
too big. But you still control the board.
let's take a trip over to 80s NES hits for 100.
All right, for 100. What Gold Kart adventure sequel differed from its top-down predecessor with 2D platforming, towns, and RPG elements? Some random jerk.
Legend of Zelda. Or they had to say the part 2 Zelda. I don't know what the freaking actual name.
Oh, boy. All right. I'm afraid we can't accept that. Who's next? Derek?
I'll piggyback on that. Is that Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past?
Not that. Nick, care to take a guess?
nope.
He's like, nope. I'm comfortable in the bottom of this hole. I prefer it not go any deeper.
These games came out when I was negative years old.
Yeah. The answer is, and Jerk, prepare to kick yourself, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
Of course.
All right, Derek, you still control the board.
Let's go to failure to relaunch for 400.
All right. What 2006 Capcom beat-em-up game transitioned poorly from 2D to 3D a decade after its previous entry, and is the only game in the franchise not to be released in Japan?
Like, I know the series, but not which one.
Some random jerk.
Final Fight? Oh. Whatever.
I'm afraid we can't accept that.
Yeah.
Anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Final Fight Streetwise. You were right there, some random jerk.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, make another selection.
Let's keep going in this category, but 500.
Okay, failure to relaunch for 500. What 2007 game was published by Microsoft as a... Let me start over. What 2007 game published by Microsoft was developed as a first-person shooter in stark contrast to the RPG games of the 90s bearing the same title, and failed spectacularly as a multiplayer-only title sold for $60. Derek,
This Syndicate?
not Syndicate. Nick,
Is this Shadowrun?
it is Shadowrun.
Watch
Go
out,
on
Derek.
50-50.
Only 10 more of those and I'll be in the positives.
All right, you control the board.
All right, let's go hodgepodge for 200.
For 200, what console received its green coloration due to the designer only having the green nobody wanted marker available when it came time to color the design? Nick,
What is the Nintendo 64?
not that. Anyone
Oh.
else? In 3. Some random jerk.
Super Nintendo.
It is not Super Nintendo. And Derek, did you have a guess? 3,
No, I don't have one.
2, 1. The answer is Xbox.
Huh.
Oh,
That green Xbox X logo got its color because the artist only had one green marker, and he called it the green nobody wanted. All right. I believe Nick still controls the board.
let's go hodgepodge for 100.
Okie dokie. What Final Fantasy designer is also credited with helping to popularize the dating sim genre with 1987's Nakayama Miho no Tokimeki High School? In 3, 2, 1. It is, of course, Hironobu Sakaguchi,
Hmm.
the man himself. Nick, select again.
All right, let's finish out failure to relaunch for 1,000.
For 1,000 points. What third-person shooter GameCube title was a reimagining of a classic 1978 game, but ironically failed to impress with its repetitive gameplay and dramatic departure from the gameplay style of the original? Some random jerk?
Robotron.
It is not Robotron. Okay, anyone else? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Space Raiders, which was an attempt at a reboot of Space Invaders, which, despite its very repetitive gameplay, Space Invaders is fun to play. Space Raiders was not. Nick, select again.
All right, let's go Nintendo accessory distressory for 200.
For 200, the chainsaw controller, developed by Newbie for the PS2 and the GameCube, was an impractical novelty peripheral released for use with what game? Did you buzz in on that one?
I did.
Or okay, Derek, sorry.
I think that one was Resident Evil 4.
It was Resident Evil 4. You control the board now.
Let's go for Distressory 300.
For 300, developed by Broderbund, what peripheral for the NES employed motion control through the use of infrared sensors? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is the U-Force. Make another selection, Derek.
No, let's keep going with Distressory for 400.
All right. Released only in Japan by Bandai, what handheld peripheral was designed as a boon to sports fishermen and included a fish encyclopedia and fishing minigame? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is the Game Boy Pocket Sonar. It was an actual accessory for your Game Boy Color that would allow you to detect fish up to like 60 feet or something like that. And I had a fishing mini game and a fishing encyclopedia. You should check out, if you haven't seen it, you should check out Angry Video Game Nerd's Game Boy accessories video. It's very informative. Make another selection, Derek.
Let's go for 500.
For 500 points. Heralded as the first writable bulk data storage device for a modern video game console, what failed Japan-only peripheral was discontinued 15 months after release? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is the 64 Double D. You still select, you still control the board, Derek.
Right. Let's finish out the category.
For 1,000, Rob the Robot, included in the NES Deluxe set, was compatible with exactly 2 NES games. One was Gyromite, its pack-in game. What was the other? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Stack Up or Robot Block. All right, one category left. Where are you going?
Well, let's start from the top with 200.
Alrighty. What Yoshio Sakamoto action title is mechanically similar to the Williams Electronics game Joust? Three, 2, 1. The answer is Balloon Fight.
That's the one I was trying to think of. All I kept thinking of was Bobble Bobble.
Ah, that's a good one. Still going straight down?
Let's go straight down.
All right, for 300. What Acclaim action-adventure game features Italian model Fabio on the cover art?
What?
In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2.
Iron Sword.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so for 400,
Let's go.
what point-and-click game began as part of the Mac Venture series and was given a full HD redesign by the original creators, released in 2014? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Shadowgate. One of my favorite games. Now for 500.
Let's go.
All right. What light gun game, excuse me, what light gun game requires you to shoot at Mr. Stevenson to make him jump over obstacles? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Gumshoe, an NES game. And finishing out the round, what Capcom shooter is set in a futuristic, ancient Greece-themed setting and pits the player against a rogue supercomputer called Dark? In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Legendary Wings. All right, here comes the final round, or they're calling it Final Jeopardy. So, unlike normal Jeopardy, even if you're in the hole, you could still participate. If you get the question right, you get 5,000 points.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's possible to still win, even if you're kind of deep in the hole, if the other people biff the question. So even if you're in the lead, sometimes you have to be careful about trying to wager
Mhm.
everything. So the only person I'll need a written down wager from, and I'll need everybody to write the answer to the question on a piece of paper that they can hold up to their camera. But you're the only one, Derek, who needs to actually wager. If you're in the hole, you get a default 5,000.
All right.
And then, of course, if you get the question right, you get the 5,000 as well. It wouldn't be fair if only people in the hole got 5,000, because then you could end up losing the game just because. Even if you wagered everything, if you didn't have enough money to go above the 5,000, that would be pretty messed up. But the 5,000 is just a bonus. You don't lose 5,000 if you get the question wrong. You only lose what you wagered. Oh, I'm sorry. I needed to tell you the category before you wagered, so you could decide what your knowledge was of it. The category is called Famous Firsts.
I'll stick with my wager.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Doing too many damn things here at once. And the question is, what was the first video game to feature speech synthesis? All right. Pencils down. And let's start with our Nick, who was in last place. Hold your answer up real high so we can see it.
All right, for 5,000, I have.
Deus Ex. That is not the answer. Some random jerk. What is your response?
It's definitely wrong.
Bad dudes? That's not a bad guess. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? I'm bad.
That's my first experience of it.
Okay. And that's not correct either, but I appreciate it. And Derek.
I also dug deep for audio sound clips in my brain, so I went for Altered Beast.
Altered Beast for 800. That is not correct, leaving you with a whopping 300, but you are still today's trivia champion. The answer was Stratovox. Deep cut, old ass game, and a fitting difficulty for a final Jeopardy question, in my personal opinion. So, Derek, congratulations.
Thank you.
In addition to bragging rights, your prize is also a custom painted mask of mine. So send me some sort of design that you would like me to paint, and I will start on it on my next painting stream.
All right. I can start looking for something that I'd like a mask of.
Right. And just keep in mind, I'm not a painting expert. I just do it as a hobby for fun, to provide some cheer and some chill vibes on stream, because, part of my streams, because I'm gaming most of the time and swearing a lot. So
it's nice to calm down.
The painting is like therapy.
Yeah. That's what I like to do with painting Warhammer miniatures.
There you go.
At it.
All right. Well, hopefully we can do this again sometime. I'll be back with another set of 14 categories. And if people have categories they want to submit, feel free to join the Discord and slap them on in there. But be sure to whisper them to me. We don't need everybody to read the questions, then memorize it for the next. Because that would just be... That's like when you play the Jeopardy video game so many times that it starts repeating categories and you can just beat the computer every time because you've memorized all the answers.
Don't give away my strategy.
But all right. Everybody stay safe out there. And I suppose I will see you all in the next one. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good one.
Thanks for having me.
That will do it for this chapter. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you like my content, please tell me in the comments below, or if you have any general feedback, I'd welcome that as well. Make sure you subscribe so that you're always up to date with all of my latest gaming adventures.